The college football experience. I can't fucking talk. The college football experience week 4 pregame show is brought to you by WinBet. Bet $100 at WinBet and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com /WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Alrighty, and we're also brought to you by the SGPN merch store. Yes, from now until Tuesday, get 20% off when you use the promo code NFC Beast.
Hey everybody, Jim McMahon here, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience pregame show for week 4 action. I mean, this one should be a dandy today. I think it's the best schedule we've had all season thus far. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I smoke and I drink and I don't have stress and I'm healthy.
Oh, yes. This slate is absolutely fucking fire. It's early in the morning in Los Angeles. Fuck. Trying to go to my coffee shop. Fucking coffee shop. I don't know what the hell happened. The police were there. Right? How you folks doing? As we are 56 minutes away from kickoff. And I know if you tailed me, you ate some shit last night on the on the Boise State front. My apologies. But I mean, UTEP looked like shit all year. Who was expecting that? Boise State kind of looked like shit offensively all year, but the defense has been playing good. What a great win for the UTEP program. What up to the chat? Shout out to the chat. Everyone's in there. My guy Scott Bowser. Make sure you subscribe to the Zed Run Gambling Podcast. Shout out to Alex Perone, Deshiz79, Justin Casey, Jeffrey how do I pronounce that? Prig? Is that silent? And Kai. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Is it bad that I like the FCS slate more than the FBS? No, that's okay. That's perfectly okay. We'll get to both as I am joined by right now. Look, host of the NBA Gambling Podcast, host of the WNBA Gambling Podcast. You can hear him on the NFL Gambling Podcast, but I like to remind the people he got his start right here. This is home. This is home territory for him. Give it up for my guy Terrell Furman Jr. How you doing, Terrell?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
I mean, just another day in paradise as we got a slew of college football games headed our way, and I mean, I feel pretty good about a lot of the slate. I know some people in the chat were just saying that they like the FCS slate better than the FBS slate. Well,
Really?
there are some opportunities there.
Mm-hmm.
You got in early, folks, on that. I laid the 33 with Jackson State as I saw that line jump way up. But let's just go chronologically here, because people trying to place their bets for these 9 a.m. games. Baylor, Iowa State. This one kicking off in about 53 minutes. I'm curious. Do you feel good about this game at all, or and where you going? Who you going with on this one?
Yeah, I'm on Iowa State here. I like the adjustments that Matt Campbell's made after losing basically all his offensive production from last year in the quarterback position and running back position. He still has some really good tight ends that he likes to utilize. And I just don't trust Shapen or whatever his name is as Baylor's quarterback.
Yeah.
I obviously showed us in that BYU game they have a fear of him throwing the football in high pressure games against good defenses. And this Iowa State team is a good defense. This is a top 40 defense from a year ago. So, yeah, I'm nervous for him and what Iowa State's defense is going to do for him on the road as well. I think this is an Iowa State win. Give me Iowa State.
Yeah, I'm on the Cyclones too. This game happened in Waco last year. Now Shapen didn't start. It was Bohannon, the current South
UCF.
Florida starting quarterback. Yeah, USF. But Iowa State severely outgained them. Just turned the ball over a bunch. This one's in Ames. I don't think it's going to happen. I think, and that's another thing is Shapen. You know, he doesn't have that many road starts under his belt. This place is going to be fucking bananas. So I'm on Iowa State as well, laying the 2.5. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Nagels Bagels, you're still, he's still hating on Syracuse.
Hey,
what's it gonna take?
Hey, Virginia got it done. Shout out to the Cavaliers. They got it done
for the cover, not for the win. Half. For the cover, yeah. So we'll see though. Nagels Bagels was on the under in Syracuse for the season. I think that just flushed down the toilet. I think that win total was what, 3.5 or 4. What was that, Nagels?
It's over. It's over for that one.
Because they got, I think, Wagner on deck.
That's 2 ACC wins too.
Yeah, they're gonna win the fucking ACC. Watch, after Wake beats Clemson today, we'll see about that. Let's talk about that one. Wake Forest. This line's kind of jumped all around.
Great transition, by the way.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
there we
10,
go.
10
right?
out of 10 transition.
And I tried to get a cup of coffee this morning. I don't know what happened. We might have had some incident. There was the police were all over. I don't know what happened at my
So, what's up? Y'all live in the hood. I'm convinced. I'm convinced. First we have a shootout at the gas station. Now you're talking about the police everywhere. You come on now.
You gotta. I mean, look, it's just Los Angeles, man. It's actually not. It's just a mixture of everything. You know what I mean? So. You get a lot of homeless. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I couldn't get a coffee, so I'm working with LaCroix. What are you doing in this Wake Forest game? Now, I had a hard time with this one because I hate taking Clemson with that offense, but I'm trusting the trends here that D line is just going to wreck shop. We know that's a tough. Firsthand that's one of the hardest places to play in America, right?
Yeah,
Winston-Salem,
right.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Definitely. There's no other college football environment like Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Yeah, sure. If you can't hear the sarcasm in my voice, please don't go thinking that Wake Forest has some crazy. Now, I will say that of all the Wake Forest games I had to work during my time working Wake Forest games, the Clemson game was the most packed. Now, I also caveat that with Deshaun Watson was quarterback at that time. So you can take that with a grain of salt as you may, but look in the stands and it look a little empty. Don't be surprised.
Well, I mean, this line's at 7.5. I'm seeing currently over at WinBet. Clemson laying 7.5. I'm on Clemson because I just think, I do think Dave Clawson's a smart enough coach to adjust. Keep getting beat every year. Are you going to switch out for, cause he runs a ton of little wide receiver screens, little delayed runs that just simply don't work against Clemson's, defensive line. I wonder if he's going to make some adjustments. This is Sam Hartman's 47th year of college. He's never beaten Clemson and we'll see if he can get it done today. I'm on Clemson -7.5. What are you doing?
I picked Clemson -7.5. I think the way I would rather bet this game is I'd rather watch and live bet, because if this looks like anything close of this is going to be a back and forth game, then I like Wake's opportunity to get this win outright. But however, I feel like I can just see this game going and Clemson just slowly, methodically pulling away at this lead and just coming away with a win. So if this looks like it's going to be a shootout, I'm gonna bet on Sam Hartman and wait the whole way. But if this looks like this is more of a defensive struggle game, this is going to be which team wants it more on the defensive side of the ball, then I'm just going to wait and hit Clemson probably at a lower number. Yeah.
What do you think about the under on 57? I don't know. I mean, I don't know that Clemson can score that many points offensively.
I think it goes under. So we're going here. We're looking at WinBet. WinBet opened up the total at 57. It's now down to 56, but 77.9% of the money and 95.5% of the 78%. Let's just call it 78. 78% of the tickets is on the over. 95% of the money is on the over. So a little bit of reverse line movement there. Don't like that. And it kind of goes to me thinking that Clemson is going to get this cover in a defensive game, and they're just going to slowly pull that lead out, probably win by like a 10-point game. Yeah, give me Clemson here in a defensive game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's the play to do here is take Clemson until we see otherwise. I see the chat lighting up, and we already talked about the Baylor game. We are siding with the Iowa State Cyclones. But shout out to everyone in the chat. The chat is moving along today. Brandon Davis, Tyler, John Brondo says, seeing all these correct dog leans brought me here. Hopefully it doesn't go the other way. Yeah, I mean,
hey, we know exactly who to blame now. Hey, if we don't hit money line dogs this week, we know exactly who we blaming. We blaming John Brando. Brondo,
yeah, John Brondo. Shout out to LW.
Appreciate you
says
coming and fucking with the show though. Appreciate you. Coming to listen to the
shout
show.
out to everybody coming in here. Shout out to LW. Talking about Penn State test the sale of alcohol today. That should be fun. Let's talk a bit about this next game. TCU at SMU, Battle of Dallas. Now this one, if you do not know, folks out there, this game is pretty heated because Sonny Dykes, the head coach of SMU, first off, they've only been playing for like 100 fucking years. This is a rivalry game. The Iron Skillet is at stake here, and when you lose a coach from SMU to TCU, that's just not supposed to happen. So I know the NIL collective at SMU has all of a sudden ignited after that move, and I think if you're a Mustangs player in the future, you might want to thank Sonny Dykes for helping ignite that. But anyway, here they are. This is SMU won last year, but once again, their coach is now at TCU. Yep. This one is at SMU. These schools are not separated by much distance. SMU is a home dog getting 2. What are we thinking here?
So I'm all over SMU. If I didn't lock it up, I'm locking it up now. And it's just for the pure fact of I'm going to trust the team that's running this same style of offense for multiple years in a row. SMU's been doing the air raid. They know the air raid. And, when you bring in old boy Lashley from Miami, he runs the air raid. That's what he was doing there. And so now you take TCU and Sonny Dykes going over TCU's. Now he's trying to implement the air raid. And we talked about this earlier. We're not 100% certain that Max Duggan is an air raid quarterback, and they're going to be without the freshman quarterback this game. So I don't know. There's a reason Max Duggan wasn't chosen as a starter over a freshman, as a 5th-year, 6th-year senior at this point.
I'm a huge Duggan fan. I just don't think he fits in that system.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. Like, there's a reason he was not selected as the starter, and they went with the freshman rather than him, and he's supposed to be Mr. TCU. So, absolutely, I like SMU. I think they've had this game circled. I think this is why they didn't get the win last week, because they were looking ahead to this game. They were ready to get Sonny Dykes to come back into town. We talk all about how Lincoln Riley left in the middle of the night. Sonny Dykes left while the day was hot, like in the middle of the day, while they were in class. They were in class, and Sonny Dykes left and said, "Wait, still, I need you to come back to class for the rest of the week." Like, what? What?
He was like, wait, I don't have to sell my house and move my kids out of school. I can just stay living in the same house, but just go coach right here at TCU for millions more.
What? And then it's just the fact that he had to coach another game. He had to do senior day with those seniors, knowing that, the rest of y'all not going to have this moment. I'm finna get up out of here. I think that SMU team is mad. I think they're mad, and I think they want to go and kind of stick it to Sonny Dykes here. I like SMU.
Yeah, I mean, I struggled with this one. I went back and forth on this. I think you're talking me into switching my pick to SMU. So let's go Mustangs. Let's ride.
Yeah.
Missouri, Auburn. This is a dumpster fire of an SEC game. I find it really appealing because I do think both coaches might be on thin ice. I know Missouri fans got on my case with my season preview episode on Missouri, saying that Drinkwitz is on the hot seat. They said, no, he's not. He's recruiting fine. I still think he's on the fucking hot seat, and I think this is a winnable game that if he loses, only enhances that. I mean, they didn't look great against Abilene Christian last week. Auburn's laying 7.5 now. TJ Finley's out. Zach Calzada is out for the season.
That's actually Calzada is actually like addition by subtraction. If Calzada was starting this game, I would have bet everything I had on Missouri. He's not compared to his peers. I hate to say people suck because they're playing D1 ball. Compared to his peers, he is not a very, very good quarterback.
Yeah. So they're going with. I actually think they're going with the right quarterback here in Robbie Ashford, the freshman, who's actually, in my opinion, he's actually looked the best under center for Auburn. This game's tough though because Auburn's laying 7.5. I'm going Auburn just because they're at home. Both teams don't look great. I don't have a great read on this game, but give me Auburn. What are you doing?
Two bad teams. I don't trust it. I'm just going to take the points.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing that Missouri has. You didn't even cover 7.5 against freaking Adrian Martinez. So there's nothing that they give me any confidence, but I just hope that this is a SEC game and they go in there and try to find some remnants of an offense to move the ball a little bit. I really don't trust this game at all. I'm going to just take the 7.5, but it does feel like it kind of, maybe I do need to switch to Auburn.
Yeah.
Let me see where the money's at.
War Eagle, man. War Eagle.
WinBet has the money, 67% of the tickets on Auburn, 70% of money.
I mean, I don't feel great about that, but they were mentioning double-digit dogs. Can I give you one that I think is possible to win this one? I don't know that Louisville is playing for Satterfield anymore. I mean, how many penalties did that team have a season ago? I mean, not a season ago, a week ago. They are hosting South Florida.
I heard you and Patty C going back and forth about this.
I think South Florida is capable of winning this game. They actually outgained Florida. Bohannon's an experienced quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? South Florida getting 15. Let's fucking roll. Let's roll.
Okay.
All right. I know they're just the Bulls. I know that this team. Look, and I'll be honest. Both coaches, once again, kind of like the Auburn game. South Florida's coach is coaching for his life. Satterfield is coaching for his life here.
Yep.
I'm getting 15 points. I'll take some of that 15 and plus 425 on the money line. Sprinkle a little bit. Sprinkle a little bit on that money line. What do you think?
No, I like it. I'm on South Florida too, just because I don't like that Louisville team laying points. I really don't like them as a dog, but I really, really don't like them laying points. So you're getting the 2 touchdowns over a South Florida team that looks pretty good throughout the first couple of weeks. They should have won last
week, man. They should have won.
They let Florida off the hook, even though they got blew out by BYU. I think that there were some things to like in that game. The South Florida team doesn't look that bad, to be honest. And now you have a chance against a Power 5 opponent to go on the road and really kind of stick it to them. You're probably going to want to get out in the head. Yeah, I like South Florida.
Let's go. Lane Elliott says Dundee and Rel. I'm looking for a first half spread to bet. Who do you like the most out of this list? Georgia minus 28.5, Michigan minus 10.5, Tennessee minus 7, Kentucky minus 18.5. I know
Michigan. Here we go.
Yes,
I found it.
yes.
I was looking for the number. Yeah, Michigan is an NCAA best, and this was tweeted by. Let me make sure I give it the credit. Bet Stats at Bet Stats. Michigan is an NCAA best 14-1-1 on the first half spread since the regular season at the start of the 2021 season. So since the start of 2021, they are 14-1-1 in the first half spread. I mean, you're going against a Tua. You're going against a Tua, brother. Yeah. And you have freaking what's his name? Mike Locksley on the road.
Oh yeah. I mean,
give me Michigan minus 10.5. That's it. I like that play.
I'm all over Michigan for the game. I got it at, I think that line's jumped up to 17, but I got it in at 16.5. One of my largest bets of the day. I have zero faith in Maryland when they play these good teams in the Big Ten. They normally just get fucking just destroyed. This is in Ann Arbor, and McCarthy didn't play. Let's be honest, Michigan's schedule is dog shit. I guess if you're a Maryland fan, that's your angle of, we ain't UConn, we ain't Hawaii. But at the same time, I just think Michigan's going to roll these guys. I'm all over Michigan. It's one of my favorite plays of the day. Even though I know it seems chalky because I feel like a lot of people are on that now, but I don't care. I don't care. One of my other favorite games on the morning slate, and I know me and Terrell here have been a big believer in the Kansas Jayhawks over the past couple of years, ever since Lance Leipold went to.
Lance is my guy. Lance is my guy.
Am I getting some nervous feelings though? Are you gonna go Blue Devils?
I will say that there is some reverse line movement in this game because there was an astronomical amount of money on Kansas earlier, and the line has dropped half a point. I will also say that I'm not a believer in Kansas defense.
Oh, I know that.
If there is an offense that can move the ball, I do think Duke's offense can move the ball. I kind of feel like this is a shootout kind of game. I think these teams are about to go back and forth. They're both 3-0 for the first time in forever.
Yeah.
I can't even remember a time that both of these two teams were 3-0, and now but this Kansas team and Jalen Daniels is really, really good. And so it's hard to go against the heater that is Kansas, but I can't neglect the fact that Duke is on a heater too, even though they played lesser competition. I just got to think somebody catches Kansas slipping at some point. I don't know. I feel like they could still win and be inside 7. I kind of want to go Duke here.
Going Blue Devils. Well, I'm not. All right. Because look, the Houston defense, I mean, last year they were top 10. This year they're having their struggles a little bit. But I think the reality is, I mean, West Virginia's defense is better than I think what the numbers would say through the first 3 weeks. And look what they did to Virginia Tech. Now that could be Virginia Tech's offense being terrible, but either way, I trust this Kansas Jayhawk offense. Now, Mike Elko, the Duke's head coach, great defensive mind. I do think for a little bit, maybe the first half, he's going to be able to weather that storm. But I think Kansas offense get gigantic, plays, like just chunks of yards at a time.
And Kansas starts slow. Kansas does start slow. They started slow in that Houston game. They started slow in that West Virginia game. So Kansas is a slow starting team.
Yeah, and Justin Casey in the chat says, "Fuck the first line move. Kansas are a bunch of filthy animals."
Maybe that's the play. Maybe Duke first half is the play. They do start slow, but they are at home on this one.
Yeah, and this is a sellout, man. Kansas hasn't sold out a fucking football game since fucking Gale Sayers started at running back for them. Geez. Okay, some other games going on. I mean, if you got any other questions on, I'm going to say this.
I do like the over a little bit. Somebody said the over. I kind of like the over a little bit.
No, I like the over too. I went over on that game. This is going to be a tough test for Riley Leonard, but I do think like Kansas does have some fun. Their best defensive game they played actually was last week, so they are getting better. But I remember that West Virginia game thinking, "Ooh, Kansas defense. I don't know about them.
It's rough. It's rough."
So if you have any other questions on morning games, drop them in the chat. But we're gonna move along to the bigger. Actually, there's one.
Malcolm Barker said, "What early game should I keep an eye on the live bet?" I think it's that Clemson Wake Forest game. I think that if Wake comes out and scores early, I like getting Clemson at a lower number, closer to a money line play, especially if Wake comes out and scores an early touchdown. And that kind of tells me how the game is going to go as well. Like, do the defenses look good in that game? So I'm looking for Wake to get out, score an early touchdown, then I'll hop back in on Clemson and take Clemson at a lower number. Or if Clemson I don't think Clemson destroys them. So if Clemson gets out really, really early and exposes that defense, maybe goes up 2 scores pretty early in the game, then I'll be looking to buy back in on Wake.
There we go. I can agree with that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Justin Chavez, what's the money split for South Florida? I'm seeing about 60% both ways for Louisville on tickets and handle. So that's about 60%. That's not insane. The books are okay with losing 60%. It's the ones that get to 70, 80 that they're like, all right, 80, 90. Those are the ones that I kind of have some worry about, but I still like South Florida for the game.
You want to get filthy? Let's get filthy here on this one. UMass is at Temple. Jefferson E. White says EJ Warner, son of Kurt Warner, worked a shift at Wawa this morning in preparation for UMass.
What?
I think that's a reference to the fact that Warner used to work at a grocery store before he had a success with the St. Louis Rams. But either way, I mean, dude, that guy balled out for a freshman last week. He almost pulled off the upset against Rutgers. I was selling all my Temple stock, which I had very little of, but I was selling it because I thought, man, after that Duke game, but hey, Warner gave them some life. The only problem is can I really lay 10 with Temple? I think I got to take UMass. I think I got to take UMass there. Yeah.
UMass isn't the fade UMass team that they've been. I will admit that they're not the fade UMass.
They're
team
improved. They're improved. Notre Dame heading to Chapel Hill, folks. If you don't know, Terrell Furman Jr. here is a Tar Heel fan, more so on the hardwood, I think. But
yeah, definitely 100% on the hardwood. I actually don't support USC football at all, but yeah, 100% on the hardwood.
So Carolina's laying 2.5 against Notre Dame. I mean,
this is the hardest game to handicap this week. I'll just let you know.
Hardest just because Carolina's defense, right?
Carolina's defense is so bad that I truly think they can probably make Drew Pine look pretty good.
I'm taking Carolina. I just think there's too much offense. Can Pine consistently put together great drives?
But if this is a Notre Dame defense of even close to what they were last year, they're going to be able to hold this team in check. They've beaten this North Carolina team through some pretty good offenses the past couple of years. So gun to
your head. What are you doing?
Gun to my head. I will take the Layla. This is disgusting. I think I will take Notre Dame. I don't know. I have to assume at some point that somebody finds a way to slow down Drake May and what that offense can do. This is a pretty big game, and it means Marcus Freeman can, make his life a lot easier at Notre Dame by winning this game right here against the 3-0 UNC. Yeah, give me Notre Dame.
That should be ranked, but yeah, I mean, I could totally see a case for it. Notre Dame's actually made me eat shit a couple times playing North Carolina because I think it was 2 years ago that I took Carolina to fuck them up and they didn't do anything. So
I took Carolina the past 2 years. So this might be actually some residual effects of me being pissed at Carolina for losing for the past 2 years. But I took them the past 2 years and they lost both.
Yeah, me too. This is my final strike right here. I'm going Carolina one more time. One more time. Look, we got some talk about Eastern Michigan Buffalo. That is a 9 a.m. kick. A little maction. Eastern Michigan was on Eastern Michigan
on Tuesday.
Yeah, they should have been on Tuesday because they're going to be lost in luster. I was on Eastern Michigan as a 20.5 point dog in Tempe against Herm Edwards. I didn't even know that Herm Edwards and that staff was giving away all of his fucking shit, which was ridiculous. But
we're gonna get to that after this game.
But yeah. But dude, great spot to fade Eastern Michigan here. I think they're still going to win, but traditionally under Chris Creighton, they play a lot of close games.
Yeah.
Buffalo is winless. They've had their heart broken. Holy Cross won on a Hail Mary against them. Buffalo played Coastal Carolina good last week. Give me the 7 in the Buffalo Bulls. And I think you should consider sprinkling the money line a little bit there. A little bit, because Eastern Michigan's been partying. All right. That's the first time a MAC school in the regular season has won against the Pac-12. I guarantee you they were partying some.
100%. And they had to come back east from that West Coast trip. So they got no sleep there. And they probably didn't get much sleep when they got back to Eastern Michigan. And we just got to remember what Eastern Michigan does in MACtion play. And their games are close. Their games are always close. They lose close games. They win close games. So I think that this is another standard Eastern Michigan script where a MACtion team comes in there and gives them a game. So yeah, give me the +7, +6.5, whatever you got it at with Buffalo. And I like the money line play there too. I think they come out and get a win.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to be just, you take the 7 to cover your ass, sprinkle some on the money line. I think I'd be surprised if Eastern Michigan won by more. I see they're asking about Bowling Green. Bowling Green's without their coach Scott Loeffler, which could be addition by subtraction if you ask me. As they head to Starkville, the first half line is at 18.5. Mississippi State's coming off that tough loss to LSU where they were up 3 for 3 quarters, and LSU really momentum went crazy in that game. So This line 18.5 for Bowling Green. I'm not gonna. I mean, if I had to lean one way, I would say take Mississippi State.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't like it too much. I don't like it that much. You?
I think it got to like 33 or something, and I took Bowling Green.
Yeah,
it is a lot of points.
First half 18 though. That's what they were asking.
First half 18.
18 and a half actually. 18 and a half. Yeah.
No, I don't have a feel on that one. I don't, because it can go either way. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I trust Mississippi State's defense, and I really haven't. And that's the move that I've been looking for our guy Mike Leach to make on this team, was to fortify that defense, make it look something more of an SEC defense, because then that air raid is going to be really good when you can score all those points and nobody can score on you. But they just don't look like it. And so,
special teams cost them a lot last week.
Yeah,
they dropped a punt inside their own 5-yard line. But
when you get numbers this high, you need defensive touchdowns or special teams touchdowns in there to kind of help you get that cover. I don't think they get that. So I'll reluctantly take Central Michigan or Bowling Green. I mean,
yeah. Next up, I'm all over this one, and I'm very curious your thoughts here. Indiana's getting 17 at Cincinnati. Folks, you want your double-digit dog potential?
Hey, look. So I thought I was crazy. I didn't get to go through our picks page and see where everybody at SGPN stands on this, but I thought I was crazy. I'm like, is this the Cincinnati team that you're gonna? I mean, this game was close last year.
It was not only close. I was
Indiana
really,
probably should have won.
I thought they were the better team for like 90% of that game. I'm all over Indiana plus 17. And I'm going to sprinkle some on the money line, which I'm seeing it currently at plus 550. You want that double digit dog action, folks? Let's go. Let's go Hoosiers.
Is that Indiana did not make things better for them last week against
ahead spot, man.
Against Western Kentucky. But I do think that is a little bit of a look ahead spot. I think that they kind of have this game circled on the calendar, because that is embarrassing. They lost to an AAC team, being Big Ten. You lost to them at home last year. I think they kind of do want to pay them back a little bit. It is a new regime there in Indiana, and new team, new quarterback, all of that. I think they get it done. Give me Indiana here.
I do think they get it done too. Texas heads to Lubbock for the final time, at least for the foreseeable future, as Texas makes that jump to the SEC. Texas Tech hasn't beaten. This is what's crazy. I did a game preview on this, and they have only the last time Texas Tech won the game outright in Lubbock was the Michael Crabtree play with Mike Leach, final play of the game, and I think it was 08. But they've lost all these heartbreakers, including the last time they played in Lubbock. Texas was down 14 with 2.5 minutes left, and somehow got 2 onside kicks, and then got the game to overtime, and then won it in overtime.
Yeah, they let him off the hook there.
Yeah, this place is going to be going crazy. There's a chance that Quinn Ewers plays. I saw he's going to be suiting up. Texas is laying 7 in Lubbock on principle. I have to take Crabtree's going to be back at this game, by the way. They're trying to do everything to get the energy going.
Whatever good vibes they can get. Whatever good vibes they can get. They're trying to get it rolling through that stadium. I think that they've had this game circled. They've had this game circled, and they know it's the last. Like, this is your last chance. You're not going to get another chance at this, which sucks. And brief side tyrant rant of why the fuck do you have to play 2 non-Power 5 teams? Why do you not drop the FCS team that you're probably going to schedule for a rivalry like this? And in a college football playoff that's moving to 12 teams, and where your strength of schedule is going to mean a lot, you really, really should put yourselves in situations where you can have a chance to win big games. And then guess what? Even if you lose the big game, you could be like, oh, well, they lost a close one to, instead of beat the shit out of X, Y, and Z fucking FCS. Yeah. I don't know why they are so trying to keep these non-Power 5 games against fucking random ass teams when you can, one, keep a rivalry that's been going on for fucking ever, on forever, and then two, have something that actually means something in your schedule, win or lose. Because if you lose a close one, they're like, oh, well, they lost a close one to a really good team, or oh, they won a close one, there's a really good team. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. Either way, Texas Tech.
Especially with expansion. I'm on Texas Tech +7 as well. Florida, Tennessee in Knoxville. Oh man, look, I was talking to NC Nick last night. He was telling me, he's like, I'm on the Gators. I think it's too many points. Tennessee's going to win the game. He thinks. I'm like, dude, they're baiting you into that. They're baiting you into that. I don't trust Florida. I think Florida personally, I think Florida should be 0-3. They're 2-1. I thought Utah was the better team. I thought South Florida was the better team, and I thought Kentucky was the better team. I'm on Tennessee -10.5. I think they make a statement today. I am a little concerned at the possibility of rain. I don't think that plays well into Tennessee's hand, but I think Tennessee is gonna. I'm gonna lay the 10.5. I think I know it's a rivalry game. I know Tennessee's only won once in like fucking 20 years, or 18 years, whatever it was. But I'm gonna lay the 10.5. Give me a 42-28 final. Tennessee rolls. What are you doing here?
I kind of wish that Florida looked better against South Florida. I think that's going into this line a little bit and juicing it up a little bit. I'm gonna go Tennessee. You know, that's my guy, Hendon Hooker. It's really hard for me to go against them. And I will say this, that Anthony Richardson got way more Heisman hype than Hendon Hooker did. And Hendon Hooker by far looks like the better quarterback this part of the season.
Not even fucking look, Richardson down the line. I'm not denying his actual skills.
No,
but he's struggled this year, man. And like, so maybe a year, 2 years from now, when he really hones in on his craft. But Hendon Hooker, they're not even on the same fucking planet right now, in my opinion.
And I'm gonna go with the better quarterback. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the better quarterback. And I don't trust this Florida defense. I think that this is a game that probably is a little bit closer in the beginning, but kind of stretches, and Tennessee just pulls away, gets some scores and some stops. Yeah, Richardson doesn't look like a Heisman. Hendon Hooker does, and I think he goes out there, he tries to show it. So yeah, let's roll with the Vols on this one, -10.5.
Let's go. Okay, now we got the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Yeah, row the boat.
I'm rowing that fucking boat as they come into East Lansing. I know I got a DM saying I was wrong for thinking that I'm insane for thinking that Minnesota without Chris Altman-Bell, their star wideout who's out for the year, is going to be able to beat Michigan State and in East Lansing. But look, I've been on the under in Michigan State.
Yeah.
It was one of my better plays, I thought, this preseason. And when we went through the season preview, I was all over Minnesota winning this game. And I get it. Minnesota's competition hasn't been great, but they've looked better than what I expected them to look, even against that competition. Ibrahim's one of the best running backs in America. Tanner Morgan's in like his 37th year in college football. He's reunited with his offensive coordinator from a few years ago.
40th year. It's ridiculous. He's never leaving. That's
what's great is Tanner Morgan's going to have a longer career at Minnesota than like Trey Lance or some NFL player will have had, Tua or whoever you want to name. Trubisky had in Chicago. How about that? I'm laying the 3. I think everyone's on Michigan State. Maybe I'm crazy. What do you think?
Yeah, you're kind of crazy because all the money here is on Minnesota. Michigan State opened as a 1-point favorite on WinBet. It is now -3 Minnesota with 72.4% of the handle on Minnesota. 64% of the tickets is on Michigan State. I think that this is a middle situation. I think Minnesota wins. I don't think they cover the 3. 3 is where I kind of go too far. Like 3 is just a little bit too much for me. If you're one of those people that like to buy points, I think if you buy the 0.5 point, I think you cash this, because honestly and truly, I think this comes exactly at 3. Like I think this final score comes in exactly at 3, or maybe a 2-point game and a last-second field goal. I think that Michigan State's going to show a little bit more heart, especially after, getting demolished on the road by Washington. I think they're going to come in and show a little bit more heart, but I think this is a closer game. I think Minnesota wins. So maybe I should go Minnesota -3, but I think it pushes, to be honest. I think it pushes. I think the three is a reason why all this money came in and it stopped at 3. Like, all this money came in and the line had no problem moving from -1 all the way to +3 for Michigan. I think there is a reason that the line stopped at 3. And I think whenever it gets to 3.5, you see some buyback on Michigan to come back down. So I think this is a 2-point, 3-point game. If I were to bet this, I'd probably throw it in a parlay and just make it Minnesota money line and just keep it at that. But I'll just go ahead and say Minnesota -3. But I really do think that this pushes 3.
Yeah, I think. I mean, that I could see that happening too. James Madison is playing their first ever Sun Belt game as they head to Boone, North Carolina. This line was at 7 all week. I feel like it dipped down to 6.5 currently over at WinBet. App State's laying 6.5. App State's been, their run this season has been absolutely bananas.
Their dick is too wet. The dick is too wet. There's no testosterone
NC Nick
left.
is at this game. NC Nick is in Boone, probably a few whiskeys deep. To watch this one.
He ain't tell me. I would have pulled up.
Oh man, yeah. We gotta arrange that. We gotta arrange that because he likes to go. I know he goes to coastal games too. He plays both sides of the Sun Belt East.
I would have been at that App State game. This sounds like a good game, man. I think that he's gonna be in for a good one because I think JMU is gonna come in and get a win.
6.5.
All the testosterone is gone from App State, man. After those past 2 weeks, like everything is gone.
Even 3 weeks, because that Carolina game, even though they lost it, they scored 42 in the 4th or whatever it was.
At some point, it's got to come back. It's got to come back on them at some point.
I went App, but that's just my heart and me saying fuck you to Patty C. I don't have a great feel. I don't have a great feel on this game. I think if it was not Patty C, you're going to be watching the game with me here in a few minutes, then I would probably take the points. So food for thought. Oregon is at Washington State in Pullman. I don't know how the fuck Washington State's not ranked, but Oregon is. Somebody explain this to me. Oregon's laying 7. I'm not saying, maybe Oregon is better than Washington State. We'll find out today, but I just don't understand the ranking process. Oregon's laying 7, 6.5. It's actually currently at 6.5. I got it at 7 yesterday. I took Wazoo +7 at 6.5. I'm still taking Wazoo. I think Wazoo's flying under the radar. I think Cam Ward is a very good quarterback. And I know that offense hasn't been like on fire statistically, but he plays turnover free football to me. He's a very good quarterback. And the Washington State defense is actually for real. Oregon, I think, yes, they look good last week, but BYU was without like a fucking decent amount of their starters. I think 5 starters were out that game, including both their wideouts. I'm going to take Wazoo. What do you think about that one?
I don't like this one. I'll go ahead and say on the record, I don't like this one. I think this is also one of the tougher games in handicap because I don't know what honestly and truly either one of these teams are. Like Wazoo is 3-0 right now. Like let's just put that like they're 3-0 right now. That is a real thing, and they've looked pretty good in these games and a convincing win over
Wisconsin.
A convincing win over Wisconsin, and then to come back and completely handle business against freaking Colorado State. I like that they're at home for this one. I am questionable about the quarterback play just a little bit. I think that Cameron Ward is decent enough. Is he going to be good enough against that Oregon defense with Dan Lanning coming in and really, really putting an emphasis on defense after that week 1 debacle? You're going Ducks. I know 6.5, 7 is a lot for me to lay with them on the road in a Pac-12 game against this one. I think they win, but I think it's close. I'll take the 6.5.
There we go. I see B Money says he's betting his mortgage on MSU money line. There we go.
Well, look, the books opened it up at -1 for a reason. So whether all the money, they might not have expected all this money to come in on Minnesota, but they did think at some point that Michigan State would win the game. That's why I am hesitant. Like I think that +3 is a pretty good move, even though I think it comes in at 3. I think that +3 is a really good move.
It matters where you live, B-Money. If you live in like Michigan, out on like the outskirts of Detroit, betting your mortgage, that's not a lot of money, but it could be. I mean, it depends on where you live, but like we got to rapid fire some of these ones because the chat's asking about Georgia Tech and UCF for some reason. I guess because they want to make money. Shout out to Flipster 495. Oh man, UCF's laying 21.5 for some stupid reason. I took Georgia Tech.
I mean,
I have no idea.
They covered this number before against Clemson. Did they cover this against Clemson?
Yeah, I think so. But they look like they quit last week against Ole Miss. Their coach is probably going to be fired in the next 2 weeks. It's a tough. I just think the hook, right? The hook.
Yeah, if it's at 21.5, I think I'll go Georgia. I would have liked to get the early number. I didn't get the early number. I would have liked to get the early number at like 18. And then I might have been considering of UCF, but I think this is a little bit too many points. I'll take Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I took the Yellow Jackets too. I know a lot of people are asking. So yeah, GBO Farm. Shout out to GBO Farm saying Clemson covered late. They backdoored that thing with the 5-star freshman, I think.
Oink, yeah, they did. And it was Georgia Tech got blanked at home against Ole Miss last week.
That was horrible, man. They looked horrible.
They got blanked. Yeah, that's probably why this line.
I'm not betting that game. I'm not betting that game because there's potential that Georgia Tech has quit on Collins.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I was concerned by UCF's offense in the Louisville game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm not betting that one. I know people are talking about this game, and I want to talk about it because it's near and dear to my heart on my win total over of New Mexico State over 2.5 wins. New Mexico State still plays Florida International and Lamar. They should be favored in those games because both are in Las Cruces. Today's game is pivotal, and I will have a screen on Hawaii at New Mexico State. New Mexico State's laying, what is this line currently at? 4. I'm seeing it at a flat 4 right now. I'm going to go with my guys, New Mexico State, to get it done. But am I nervous? 100%. What are you doing here?
I'm not. I don't care. I don't care. Hawaii, New Mexico State. I don't care. I mean,
not tuning into that one.
I will take New Mexico State because I just still think Hawaii is really, really bad. But
yeah.
Would it surprise me if this is a shootout and becomes a field goal game at the last second? It wouldn't, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. A&M is taking on Arkansas, Jerry's World in Dallas or Fort Worth, whatever the fuck they call it, that wherever it's at right now. Arlington. A&M's laying 2.
Yeah. Shout out to that dome.
Yeah. Terrible. Absolutely fucking terrible. You got these great college environments, the 12th man with those fucking kids with those overalls on. And then Fayetteville, Arkansas, where the fans, I mean, those fans get fucking crazy. That dude fucking bit a guy's nose off.
I just seen a video of a guy getting stomped out in Little Rock. So yeah, they're that's a really good environment over there for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Give me these fans. I want to see these passionate fans. All right. I might look, I know someone got their nose bit off, but I'm saying, hey, that's the risk you take when you go on the road and talk some shit. I think Arkansas is the better team, but this line scares me. This line makes no sense to me. It absolutely makes no sense to me because A&M has looked like the questionable team all year. Arkansas looks like a really good team with the exception of their pass defense. Why the fuck is this line? If I was setting this line, I would have set it at Arkansas -3. So why is it A&M?
The issue here is multiple things. One, A&M is rolling out Max Johnson. So, and I don't like Max Johnson. I'll go ahead and say that. But I will say he's a considerable upgrade over Haynes King right now. And it's a considerable upgrade.
Yeah, I agree.
And the fact is that 3-4 defense that Arkansas loves in rushing 3, they're not getting pressure with those 3 right now. And they struggle with that against Missouri State. That's why Missouri State was in that game for as long as they were. And I understand I understand why they say that, all right, Max Johnson's coming in. This is going to be different, Texas A&M, and they're going to be able to go and redeem themselves because they lost this game last year to Arkansas, I think in the same stadium at that too.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I'm going to go. I'm a closet Arkansas fan, so I'm gonna roll with the Razorbacks here.
I am too.
And lay the points, but I don't not lay the points, and take the points. But I do not feel comfortable about it.
Yeah, the line's off to me. Something's not right. But I'll tell you what is right. You folks out there betting on my Rutgers Scarlet Knights for one.
Thank you.
Saturday.
I've been waiting for this because go ahead and play my music. Play my music right now because we're locking this up. I am not laying points with Iowa at Rutgers. This is a defensive game. This has the lowest total college football probably has ever seen since like fucking 1921 when Kobe was alive and he saw them just run the football the entire game. I think the Golden Guido is a good coach. He has this Rutgers team playing well. They are 3-0 right now, and I've had this game circled because Iowa is a dangerous team. When they turn around and they wave to that children's hospital and you see them and they do that nice little wave to the children's hospital, it's like superpowers to them. There's no children's hospital in Rutgers. You got dogs. You got straight dogs. So give me Rutgers plus, it's at 8 now. Give me Rutgers plus the 8. Give me Rutgers on the money line. This is the money line play. I see you, Shane. You talking about the money line dogs. Here they go. Give me Rutgers right here. I don't even know what the price is, but I'm
275 plus 275. Let's go in on this. I look, and if you play sleeper also get in on that prop. Spencer Petras, what was it like? I think it was like it was like 200 yards or I forget the number. I gave it out on the other show, but he ain't throwing for over 200.
Has he thrown for that much this season?
In his life? I don't even know that he has.
I don't know.
I'm all over the 8. This is a sellout too. It's like the Kansas game, man. These fans, Rutgers is undefeated. They're undefeated.
It's going to be one play. It's going to be one or two plays that separates Rutgers from this win. And it's going to be like a blown coverage or something like that. Just because you have a great defense, you make mistakes. They're going to make a mistake at the wrong time. Rutgers is going to capitalize. And that's literally going to be the one score that changes the difference in this game.
Point going saying Iowa's defense is going to embarrass Rutgers offense. Probably true. But this is the lowest total between Power Fives since 1995. All right. How about that? I
wasn't even born in 1995. I was born in 96.
There you go, folks. Some of the other big games we got to key on before we get out of here. Wisconsin heads to Ohio State. They're catching 19. The Badgers are. I hate this game, actually. I'm taking the 19, but I am.
You're taking it or laying it?
I think I'm going to take it. I mean, I'm not betting this personally. I just don't. Like to me, I'm like, okay, Wisconsin's a little dinged up in the secondary. It's not good to be dinged up in the secondary when you're playing Ohio State. Even though Jim Leonard is a fucking great, like I actually believe he's like the best defensive coordinator in college football, right? So I do think he can dial up some exotic stuff that will give CJ Stroud some problems. Maybe they could even get a pick 6 in this game. But but Graham Mertz could throw a pick 6 every time he throws.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
for real.
Oh man,
I think that the OSU defense has stepped up, and they while they are not playing to the level, I think they've been playing down the competition a little bit. I think we're going to see that OSU defense that showed up a little bit more in that Notre Dame game. I'll lay it at 19 points. I think that is a weird number because the books really don't know what to do with it, and I just think Ohio State goes out there and just runs a track meet on them boys. I don't think that they can keep up with any of their wide receivers. I think that Stroud has progressed as a quarterback. I think this offense goes out and shows out in a really big Ben's hit game. So I'll take Ohio State.
There we go. Okay. We got a rapid fire. We only have 5 minutes here, but I want people to lock up North Dakota State in the FCS. They lost last week at Arizona. They bounced back. They head to South Dakota. They're only laying 15. This line has came down. Lock up North Dakota State minus 15 on the road against the Coyotes. Of South Dakota. They're going to bounce back. Yeah. Also, I know people want to know about K-State, Oklahoma. K-State's getting 13.5 in Norman. I'm taking K-State. Do I feel amazing about it? I feel all right about it. I think K-State's defense will be able to give Oklahoma, like Nebraska's defense. I get it. Oklahoma looked phenomenal last week, but Nebraska's defense gave up 642 yards to Georgia Southern, who just lost to UAB by 2 scores. So I tend to trust that trend more than just thinking, Oklahoma's offense is a top 5 offense in the nation. Even though Jeff Lebby's a accomplished offensive coordinator, I'm on the 13.5 in K-State. Are you still fading Martinez here?
Yeah.
He's laying the 13.5. What about Boston College getting 18 at Florida State?
I don't know. I don't know how I can lay 18.5 with Florida State, man.
I think Florida State's going to win the game. It's 18.
18.5 is too much. I can't lay that many points with Florida State. I still don't know exactly who they are as a team this season.
USC heads to Corvallis, Oregon tonight. That game's a sellout as well. USC. I know that I was surprised to see how many large wagers were placed on the Beavers.
I'm done fading USC. I've given it a shot, a pretty good shot. I thought that I had a good shot with Stanford. I thought I had a really, really good shot with Fresno State. I'm just going to trust that this USC team is who they say they are. Give me USC.
I'm on Oregon State. Sorry. I've been calling it since February. Yeah.
Drayton somewhere.
Shout out to Drayton.
Just had a pinch in his heart. My bad, Drayton.
I've been calling this all year. I'm not gonna change my tune now, even though I was surprised to see the public on the Beavers side. Oregon State on the money line at plus 200. Let's go. Okay, well that's most of our games, but if there's any other plays you like, double-digit dogs we were talking about. I know people were saying, hey, what are the double-digit dogs this week? We gave away potentially what was it, South Florida.
Let me take you to one real quick. Oh, Joey Gallo has USC. All right, nope. I'm sorry, I'm on the Beavs. I'm sorry, I'm on the Beavs. That was literally all you had to say. Please start with that. And if you know any other picks that he has, please let me know so I can go parlay them. Yeah, I'm on the Beavs. I literally just changed my pick like that. I'm actually gonna bet that with you. So let's go plus 200 money line. I'm not trusting them at all.
What's another double-digit dog though? I'm thinking.
No,
maybe,
let me take you to Stanford and Washington.
Oh, see, but if EJ Smith wasn't injured, I would feel so much better.
But they still have what's my guy's name? Hold on, I gotta find his name. I don't want to butcher it.
At quarterback, Tanner McKee,
at running back. No, at running back. They still got
Michael. Okay, yeah.
They got Casey Filkins, and who's been decent. He's been decent, but I really do like McKee. I like what David Shaw is doing with the quarterbacks there at Stanford, and he's getting the most out of his quarterback. McKee has looked really good this season, like really good.
The offense is actually pretty good. Yeah,
and so if that offense can move the ball on the Washington defense, I think that this becomes a shootout. And if this becomes a shootout, I like McKee's chances over Penix, not taking anything away from Penix, but I just think that this is a game that this Stanford team wants to play. They always play this Washington team tough, and I feel like they always play them tough at Washington. I got to go back and look at the history on that.
I feel like they always play them tough no matter what. I mean, I could totally see that happening too. I'm going to take you to New Orleans. Southern Miss is plus 400 on the money line. They're a 12-point dog. Southern Miss is going to play. Tulane's coming off that huge win at K-State. Give me Southern Miss plus 12. Sprinkle some of that plus 400 on Southern Miss. Let's go. I could also see a case where Rice plays Houston well, because I think Houston's got some problems right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's still Rice, so I don't. The money line plays a little bolder, but I mean, I was impressed with Rice recently, even in the USC game. They're plus 600 on the money line. If you want to get really fucking crazy, those are the plays that I would say I like the most. By the way, all of our SES picks available. sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Type or click on college football picks. It's 9:00. Let's go watch the games, folks. Yep. We appreciate, man, that the chat was live today. I really appreciate everyone in there, coming there. I saw real Kentucky. Quick. Yeah.
Stanford, real quick on Stanford, Washington. Last 5 games, Stanford won outright as a +7 dog. Washington won outright -9. Stanford won outright +13. Stanford won outright +12. Washington won outright +2.5.
Wow. Yeah.
So you got
Cardinal.
two times as double-digit dogs that they've come out here and won outright. One as a touchdown dog. So I like Stanford.
There we go, folks. And look, Kentucky over Northern Illinois. Yes, I do like that. All right, folks. This is the college football experience. We appreciate you hopping in the chat. Remember, every single Saturday we'll be here. So tell a friend, and yeah, let's go make some money today. This is the college football experience week 4 recap show. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Thank you. Well, it's a great way to get started, and I haven't even won all my games yet. It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family, and we are so excited.
What the fuck did I do wrong, Tom? Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm drafting you, buddy. You're gonna pay for it. Good night.
I didn't come here to study. I came here to study. It sucks. It really sucks.
It's easy to see a tide turn.